Have you ever noticed more friends discussing retirement communities or mentioning assisted living moves lately? Maybe you've even nodded along during tours, smiling at bright activity boards and freshly painted hallways. But here's what. Those picture-perfect brochures won't tell you. The quiet truths that could reshape your daily life in ways brochures can't capture. Let's talk plainly. By age 80, statistics show nearly 70% of adults will need some form of long-term care. It's as common as needing reading glasses or preferring an earlier bedtime. But here's the catch. Many of us approach this decision like we're buying a house based solely on its exterior. We admire the landscaping, trust the sales pitch, and assume the foundation is solid. What we don't do is check for hidden cracks in the plumbing or signs of termites in the walls, and that's where things get complicated. I've spent years talking to residents, families, and healthcare advocates, and there's a pattern that keeps emerging. People often choose nursing homes the way they'd select a hotel for a weekend trip, prioritizing convenience over sustainability. But living somewhere full-time isn't a vacation. It's a life stage. And without the right tools to evaluate what truly matters, even the most well-intentioned decisions can lead to frustration, isolation, or unmet needs. This isn't about fear-mongering. It's about preparation. The challenges many face in these facilities, like inconsistent staffing, rigid routines, or unexpected costs, aren't personal failures. They're systemic gaps that thrive when we don't ask the right questions up front. Think of it like your favorite sweater. Over time, a loose thread here or a missed stitch there can unravel the whole garment if you're not paying attention. So what's the solution? It starts with becoming a wise scout rather than a passive consumer. Over the years, I've developed a straightforward way to assess facilities, not just for safety and cleanliness, but for the subtle factors that determine daily happiness. No expensive consultants required, no need to overwhelm yourself with jargon. Just 3 key principles that act like a compass, guiding you toward choices that honor your independence while safeguarding your well-being. If this resonates with you, if you've ever wondered how to protect your autonomy while planning for the future, take a moment to tap that like button. Every click helps others in our age group find this conversation, and that's how we turn whispers about these challenges into real, actionable change. Now let's get to the heart of the matter. The first thing to understand is that not all nursing homes are created equal, but nearly all of them share one common blind spot: the assumption that your priorities align perfectly with their business model. For example, a facility might advertise gourmet meals or yoga classes, but if they're understaffed, it won't matter how nice the activity room looks. You could be waiting 20 minutes for help to arrive after pressing a call button, or finding your dietary needs overlooked because the kitchen prioritizes efficiency over customization. These aren't small details, they're daily realities that add up over months and years, and while regulations exist to prevent outright neglect, they can't guarantee dignity, companionship, or meaningful engagement. That part is up to you to negotiate. But don't worry, you don't need a law degree to do it. You just need to know where to look, what to ask, and how to listen for the answers hidden between the lines. By the end of our conversation, you'll have a clearer roadmap, not just for vetting facilities, but for advocating for yourself in a system that often sees seniors as patients rather than people. Because here's the truth nobody says aloud. Your golden years shouldn't feel like a waiting room. They should feel like yours. If you're ready to take the next step, to move from uncertainty to confidence, stick with me. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. This isn't just about one video. It's about building a toolkit for the years ahead, one thoughtful conversation at a time. Let's start with a simple question. Why do so many well-meaning nursing homes fall short of expectations? The answer isn't laziness or malice. It's something far more ordinary and far more fixable. Imagine you're running a grocery store. Your goal is to keep shelves stocked, lines moving, and customers satisfied. But if a corporate suddenly insists you prioritize checkout speed over personalized service, even the friendliest cashier starts rushing. That's the invisible force shaping many care facilities, systems designed for efficiency, not individuality. The heart of the issue lies in what I call the three-legged stool problem. Just like a sturdy stool needs 3 legs to balance, A nursing home's quality depends on three pillars: staffing, transparency, and social infrastructure. Let's break them down. First, consider staffing ratios. You've heard the term staff to resident. Ratio because, but what does it feel like? Think of it as a teacher in a classroom. One educator can manage 15 students, but if that number jumps to 30, even the best teacher can't give individualized attention. In nursing homes, the same principle applies. Aides responsible for too many residents become like chefs cooking for a banquet, focused on getting everyone fed, not catering to personal tastes. The result? Missed call buttons, hurried baths, or meals delivered cold. Now, layer on hidden costs. Many facilities advertise all-inclusive pricing, but here's the catch: inclusive often means the basics. Extra services like physical therapy, specialty diets, or even additional toiletries can turn into a slow leak, draining your savings. It's like buying a car only to realize navigation and heated seats cost extra. Over time, those drips add up, leaving families scrambling to cover gaps they didn't anticipate. Then there's the most overlooked element: social infrastructure. A facility might have pristine floors and a full activities calendar, but true social health is measured in unplanned moments. Can residents chat freely in hallways? Are there quiet corners for private family visits? Or does the layout feel like an airport terminal, functional but sterile? Social infrastructure isn't about scheduled bingo games. It's about whether laughter and conversation flow naturally, like a heartbeat. Now, let's talk solutions. Over the years, I've refined a method called the CCC approach: clarity, compare, commit. It's not about checklists, it's about training yourself to see what matters. The first step is clarity. Before touring a single facility, grab a notebook and finish this sentence. A good day for me looks like... Maybe it's having morning coffee in silence, tending to potted plants, or uninterrupted reading time. These are your non-negotiables, the routines that make life feel like yours. Facilities often cater to the average resident, but you're not average. Write down 3 daily rituals you refuse to sacrifice, then use them as a filter. Next, move to comparison, but not the kind you'd expect. When visiting facilities, skip the scheduled tours. Instead, go twice. Once during activities hours and once during quiet time, like mid-morning on a weekday. Watch how staff interact with residents when they think no one's looking. Do aides knock before entering rooms? Are they using residents' names or generic terms like honey? These unscripted moments reveal more than any brochure. Finally, commit to scrutinizing the fine print. Contracts are where good intentions meet reality. Look for vague language like services as needed or additional fees may apply. These are escape hatches. Demand specifics. How many therapy sessions are included monthly? Can family visit without restrictions? Bring a magnifying glass, literally, when reviewing paperwork. It's a playful but powerful way to signal you're scrutinizing every word. But here's where the real work begins. Pair your research with daily mindset shifts. Ask to sample a meal unannounced. If they refuse, that's your answer. Visit on a Saturday to see if weekend staffing drops, a common cost-cutting tactic. And don't underestimate the parking lot whisper network. Families lingering by cars often share truths no administrator will. Did you know 60% of nursing home residents rarely leave their facility once admitted? If that statistic surprised you, comment 61 below. It helps others realize how crucial these conversations are. And if you're finding value in these insights, take a second to hit subscribe. Every new subscriber tells the algorithm, this matters, ensuring more people in our community can access this guidance. Let's circle back to social infrastructure, because this is where magic or misery happens. Her facility might have beautiful courtyards, but if benches are placed far from gathering areas, they'll sit empty. Look for organic social spaces, a coffee station where residents linger, a bird feeder outside a window with chairs nearby, or a bookshelf with well-worn paperbacks. These are signs of life, not just design. You're not choosing a home, you're choosing a community, one that should adapt to you, not the other way around. And with the CCC approach, you're not just avoiding pitfalls, you're building a safety net woven with your own priorities. Let's shift gears for a moment. Imagine you're planting a garden. You've tested the soil, chosen sturdy seeds, and mapped the sunlight, all the practical steps. But what about the wind chimes, the bench where you'll sit to admire the blooms? Those touches don't just make the garden functional, they make it yours. The same applies to life in a nursing home. Beyond staffing ratios and contracts lies a quieter, deeply personal layer. The art of nurturing your rhythm within someone else's system. Start with your space. Many facilities allow modest personalization, but few residents fully lean into this. Bring the quilt your granddaughter made, the photo of your fishing trip, the lamp that's cast its warm glow on your evenings for decades. These aren't decorations, they're anchors. They transform a room from a unit into a reflection of your story. I once met a man who tacked his old railroad timetable to the wall. It wasn't just nostalgia, it reminded him he'd always been a person who kept things running, on time even when his body couldn't. Then there's the matter of voice. You might worry about being labeled difficult if you speak up, but let's reframe that. Think of yourself as a collaborator, not a complainer. For example, if the cafeteria menu feels limited, could we explore adding a weekly soup from residents' recipes? It's not a demand, it's an invitation. Facilities often default to routines because they're easier to manage, but gentle persistence can open doors. One community started a memory cafe after a resident suggested swapping generic magazines for old travel brochures. Suddenly, lunch tables buzzed with stories about Paris trips and cross-country drives. But here's the truth no one tells you. Even the best-laid plans need room to breathe. Maybe the facility you chose has changed management, or your health. Needs have shifted. This isn't failure, it's life. The key is to build a flexibility fund, not just financially, but emotionally. Keep a trusted friend or family member looped into your experience. Someone who can notice if your spark dims and ask, what's one small thing we could adjust? Sometimes it's as simple as swapping a medication time by 30 minutes to reclaim your morning crossword ritual. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, loneliness. It's easy to assume companionship will come naturally in a community full of peers, but connection requires intention. Try this. For the first month, keep a micro-journal. Each day, jot down one interaction that energized you. A caregiver's joke, a shared eye roll over pudding cups, a nod from the woman who always wears peacock pins. Over time, patterns emerge. You'll see which staff members light you up, which residents share your dry humor, which activities feel like a maybe next week versus a never again. Use these notes to curate your social world, just as you'd prune a rosebush to encourage the strongest blooms. Now, a surprising truth. Studies show seniors who maintain a sense of control over tiny choices. When to nap, what to watch, whether to join a group, report higher satisfaction, even in high-care settings. It's not about grand freedoms, it's about preserving your sovereignty in the everyday. So if an aide asks, would you prefer your bath before breakfast or after? That's a foothold, grab it. These moments are brush strokes in the larger portrait of your life. If you take nothing else from our time together, remember this. You are not a guest in this space. You are its heartbeat. The way you arrange your photos, the stories you share, the requests you make, they don't just shape your days. They ripple outward, showing staff and fellow residents how to see you, not just your age or ailments. And that's how systems change. One stubborn, glorious insistence on humanity at a time. Drop a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't hold back. Your input means a lot to us. Reading your comments keeps us motivated and inspired. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us keep bringing you valuable content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Remember, this isn't about finding perfection. It's about planting your flag in small, steady ways wherever life takes you next.